Hey everyone. Okay, so you can hear me. Thanks to Ben and Taylor for sort of setting the stage. So I'm not the bad guy talking about ethics. I think they've already sort of primed everyone to think about it. Really quickly, so I'm an AI ethics researcher, as I said, at McGill in District 3 at Concordia. So what is it? So since I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to be really succinct with what I'm going to say, and then you can come back to my table, hopefully, if you find this interesting, and we can go into the nitty-gritties of it, all the the tough challenges. So in wider discussions today, when we talk about AI ethics, it really covers sort of a broad spectrum of issues. So you're talking about transparency, bias, responsibility, accountability. But what we've done here is that we've split it up into different sessions. So I'll just focus on one part, which is values and morals in AI systems. And again, I won't go into detail about what values and morals are because there's not enough time, and it could take me a lifetime to explain that. Or maybe I'm not that efficient. So why does it matter? Why do AI ethics matter? Because with AI systems today, and obviously partnering that with the proliferation of smartphones and the internet, the scale of impact that you can achieve with these systems is dramatic, and obviously this was alluded to in the discussion before, but also the pace of impact, which is that you can take these decisions in a split second. You can take them without having a big delay, and so you've automated and relegated sort of responsibility when you're talking about taking decisions on different aspects of people's lives. So what I'll focus on, and I'll give a few examples, is on the idea of behavior nudging. So again, a little bit of my thunder was stolen, I guess, in the previous discussion, but so the very important idea. So I'll give you like 2 seconds to read the comic, and I'll collect statistics on how people feel about XKCD comics. Okay, some chuckles, I like that. Okay, cool. So this is basically the idea of a Turing test. So really quickly, how many people know about Turing tests? Okay, a lot of people, so I won't go into the details of what it is. So what's happened recently with the Turing test is that not only have the conversational agents become better at their level of conversation, but humans have come down in the richness of their conversations as they're interacting online. So the Turing test itself has evolved in that sense. So they have this workshop where they bring in humans, us, and they train us on what it means to be human. So they give them training on linguistics and psychology so that you can be a better human. What does it mean to be human? And going along that line of nudging conversational styles, I don't know how many people use the Gmail or the Inbox app, but you might have seen that they have these sort of auto reply suggestions, right? So again, you obviously have your agency in picking a reply, but what these helpful indicators do is they nudge you in particular directions in terms of framing your reply. So they have this subtle psychological effect of pushing you one way or the other, which is something that strips away at our agency in terms of how we want to communicate. This was an interesting idea around making us conform. So I'm not a big supporter of using smart home assistants because I just find like I'm faster myself finding whatever I need to find, because it just does a web search and tells me, hey, this is what it says on Wikipedia. I'm like, okay, I could have done that myself. But the idea of making us conform here, what I'm alluding to is the fact that when you communicate with these smart home assistants, if they don't understand the way we speak, we tweak the way we talk to it so that it can understand us. So we're again diminishing our own conversational richness in being able to conform and facilitate the process of the machine. Yeah, so hacking attention, I guess I won't go too much into it. This was already alluded to again in the panel, in the discussion before. It's again chipping away at our agency as we don't have any stopping cues on when to stop consuming the content. I was discussing this example with someone earlier today, where when you used to watch TV shows on real TVs with the ad breaks and everything, at the end of the half an hour mark, you had a clear stopping cue on being done and then moving on to something else. You don't have that anymore with things like Netflix, with your newsfeed on Facebook or Instagram. In fact, in Netflix, I was thinking about this hypothesis where I'm currently watching The Office, the US version, and between each of the episodes, it has a 15-second delay. So you know that auto-turner thing, and versus a TV show like House of Cards has only a 5-second delay in going to the next episode. Why is that? So my sort of hypothesis, and this is with no scientific rigor whatsoever, is that The Office forms a sort of an anthology. So, anthology, it's very loosely related between each episode, so you can stop and then choose to not go to the next episode. But with a House of Cards, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, if Frank Underwood pushes Zoe Barnes onto the tracks, you really want to see what happens in the next episode. And so that small 5-second delay is, again, hacking your attention to keep you on that platform. So this was an interesting example that came out, I think in November last year, where, who's familiar with YouTube Kids? Some folks, okay. So YouTube Kids is supposed to be the safe platform where your kids can go and watch YouTube videos without having to worry about, let's just say, HBO type content. And what started to happen was that they, I don't know if any of these video titles or things are visible, but there was a way to put up content based on popular cartoon characters, and that would continue to bring people back to the platform, the people being the children here. And over time, what they figured out that as they mashed up different characters, they got more views on the platform, which meant that it was better for them because they got more revenue and so on and so forth. The interesting thing started to happen was that they started to show increasingly macabre content, in the sense, chopping off a cartoon character's head and running around with it, which seems fairly benign when it's cartoons, but it will have a long-term psychological impact if that's done on a continual basis. And what started to happen was that these videos were being created automatically. So they were using machine learning techniques to mash up these videos and keep bringing them forward, moving away from having humans to create them. So again, scaling that impact tremendously where you're not tied to human labor. So why is it hard to make these systems ethical? What is the crux of it? So I tried to summarize it in 2 points, and there's obviously a lot more. So again, come to the table after. But there's a large output possibility space when you're looking at these systems and what they can do within, obviously, that constrained domain. And there isn't a clear consensus on what values and morals for that community are. So different communities have different values and morals, and we don't have a strong consensus on that. And so, some of the ideas, I think, is that we need to be able to define some of the legal and moral boundaries of these AI systems. We need to think about what sort of responsibilities we need to have when we're thinking about mission-critical systems, so systems that directly affect human lives. And ensuring inclusivity in this process, that's really important, because you need to bring stakeholders from all of the different communities that are going to be a target of that system, so that they can come and be an integral part of the development, deployment, design, end of life, and maintenance of that entire project. So yeah, that's just me if you want to follow some of the work that I do. Yeah, I did run my time over, so sorry about that.